So Farhoon and Ahmed, nice to have you here, guys.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Awesome, thank you guys. Like, you crushed it in May, right? You made 64.5K in 1 month in sales, which is insane.
Yeah.
And we just want to break down and talk more about how you guys actually did that today. But we also want to know more about your guys' story and like where it actually started. So my first question is like, how did you guys even get into this entrepreneurial journey in the first place?
For sure. So in a nutshell, I ran a business for a year. It was non-school. I quit my job and I joined a program, and the whole goal of the program was meet a co-founder and start a business. And I started a business, and the goal was we need to acquire a customer fast. And what we did was we sat down, me and an Italian guy, Luca, and we were like, okay, we need to acquire a client and we want to start a recruitment business because we wanted cash flow ASAP, right? We didn't want to raise money and go down the VC route. And we sent out 100 messages each for 4 days. By our 4th day, we got our first client. And that first client was like, okay, we've got these 2 roles, you hire for them, and just let us know what fee you want. And because we were scared of losing on the deal because of recruitment, you can give them a fees, and if it's not competitive, they just ghost you because they get like literally like a recruiter reaching out to them every day. So we were like, okay, what's the market rate? We had no idea. Not worked in recruitment ever, right? I worked in consulting and I worked in a startup. And we pitched them half of what the market rate was. So 20% is the average in the UK of yearly salary, of their first year salary. We pitched them 10%. And they said, yeah, the same day. And then they were like, we've got two roles for you to fill, but we might have some more. So we celebrated the same day. The next day, Harry got back, shout out to Harry. He got back to me saying, hey, I've got 19 more roles, which meant we got 21 roles to fill. And that was in total, if the average ticket price was 2.5K, that's around 100K. That we could have made, or 100K that contract. And that started entrepreneurship. And then we started placing those roles. We only managed to place 6 of them out of 21. It was really tough over 2 months. And then after that, we were starting to get our next client. So we made some money, but even then, we would get paid after students started in the job. So we basically had no cash for 3 months. We made money, but we were waiting for them to start their jobs in April. And then we were like, we need to get our new client. And we were looking for new clients, but we were like, okay, but we need to get paid up front. No one wanted to pay us up front because our value proposition was okay. We weren't different. We were just helping companies get graduates in sales roles. We were just hot, and there's many agencies doing that. But then what we were seeing is when we were advertising for roles, the students that were literally begging to pay us just to get a referral were international students, so immigrants. And what we thought was, oh, okay, this is interesting. We should definitely start up an agency that helps them. So we pivoted. And then, so we started off as sales heroes, as I said, helping companies get graduates in sales roles. Then we're like, okay, now we're international heroes. Now we're gonna help internationals get graduate roles in UK companies. It was a struggle because our model was traditional recruitment. We place a candidate in your company, you pay us a fee. Companies were like, hell no, we're not gonna pay you a fees and then also sponsor their visa in 2 years. That's like double, right? And there's risk as well with internationals because cultural differences, their work ethic might be different. So the main thing was, okay, we were never ever going to get a client and get them to pay for an immigrant, an international student, right? Because it's hard to get them to pay for a British graduate because graduates are really cheap, right? There's, graduates are going up every year, the number of jobs are stagnant. So we were like, okay, cool. We need to look at a different model. And we just asked students, look, if we were to train you up on how to get a job, would you pay us? They're like, oh yeah, we might pay you. It's interesting. What are you going to offer us? So they were biting onto that. We were like, okay, cool. But the students that we wanted, they were saying, nah, yeah, we're not going to pay. But the students that we didn't want, that were pretty below average, they were like, yeah, we'll pay. But then me and Luca knew that we are for sure not going to place these people. So we wanted the top students from Imperial and UCL, but not the bad ones. But then we were like, how do we create an offer that actually gets these top students to come and work with us? Because they're going to get a job anyways. So we were like, how about we do this? Because I think we met Ariba, this one girl. She went to Warwick, which is the top 10 university in the UK. And then Luca was like, because I did the interview, he was overhearing. He was like, man, this girl is easily going to get a 50K job. She's amazing. I was like, man, how is this girl not getting a job? She is so smart. Her personality is amazing. She's got an amazing degree. English is amazing. We were like, if we were to offer a success fee agreement, she would get a job, we're going to get paid, guaranteed. We can go into debt, it's fine. And then we're like, you know what, let's do a cohort-based model similar to master's school in the US and only charge them a fees after they get a job. If and after they get a job. And that was the birth of International Heroes cohorts, and that's how I blew up. And I did that for a year, ran 3 cohorts, and then I was like, you know what? I started to blow up over social media. What I did was I placed, I think, around 32 students from February to December, and for every student I placed, I just marketed that on LinkedIn. Like, this is how they did it. This is what they did on their CV. This is what they said in the interview.
And that's when people started to like...
Exactly.
Exact
traction. So I went from 0 to 10K in 3 months, 10 to 20K in 4 or 5 months after that, 20 to 25K a few months after that. And then I was seeing like the engagement, and I was getting DM setters reach out to me all the time. And I was showing my co-founder that. I was like, this social media thing is big. But he had a different vision. So I had to leave that, and I was like, I want to start a community. I had to separate.
How did you know that you wanted to make a community though? That's very specific,
I had a community.
Right?
So I was running a community on WhatsApp. But I was doing that to give free value to get the best students. So I was just doing it to generate leads. I never knew that you could have a community-based business. I just thought, if I just give value and I keep these guys nurtured up, when a top student from Imperial wants a job, they come to me, guaranteed I'm gonna get paid.
And when was this? When you guys when did you do like the WhatsApp community?
So WhatsApp group I started in, I think, May or June. Yeah. And I did that because I wanted to host a social. And it's hard to do over LinkedIn, so I just got them over WhatsApp group. And then whenever someone needed help, I just sent them like a WhatsApp group, like, hey, I'm I'm posting stuff in the WhatsApp group, join it, it's a free group. And I actually ran that for 6-7 months before I even thought of Skool. So I was running a community was very scrappy, right? But I did the job because, I built up a really good brand.
Cool.
Super fans, basically.
So when and why did you guys move over to the Skool community?
Of course. So in a nutshell, I knew I had a strong community on LinkedIn and WhatsApp. And I was like, because I quit my other business, and I was like, I want to monetize this community. I've got 25K followers and hyper engaged followers. I get over 1,000 comments on every third post, insane engagement, hundreds of messages a day, and they just loved my stuff. And I was getting success stories every other day, either interviews or jobs, or people getting following up and hearing back from an employer that ghosted them for weeks. So I literally, I'm not even lying, I Googled how to monetize a community. That's literally what I Googled, no joke. And I found Ted Carr, and I saw his video, how I make 50K MRR through Skool.
It was like a YouTube video or something?
It was a YouTube video.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
And when was this, by the way?
This was around November. This was when I left late November, I was in the process of just shutting down my old business, International Heroes, the traditional recruitment one. And I saw that video, I watched all of it, and halfway through I was like, this is it. This is where I'm gonna make money. This is the perfect model for my audience. I knew it, right? And I really slightly pitched it to my former co-founder, but he didn't believe in it. But fair play, I should have tested it and shown him results. But I was like, you know what, I can do this on my own. And it was so simple setting up. I already did a course, and I could see myself literally following each step and just launching. And I started working on that a week after that.
Because Skool payments wasn't out then, right?
I didn't even know.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna get them on Skool, and I'll monetize. I'll just get them to bank transfer me money. So I'll just figure out a way. I just know this is the platform for me, because I use Teachable. Because I did launch a course, and what's interesting enough, just go back to when I launched a WhatsApp group in June. I nurtured the audience up of 600 people for around 3 months, and in September, October, we launched a course called Masterclass. It was on Teachable. And we made 4K same day we launched over WhatsApp group of 600 people.
Nice.
It was £200,
cool.
and 20 people bought it. So it's £400, we get 50% off discount, and they love that. And in a nutshell, I already did the course, so I knew, I was just comparing Skool to Teachable. And I was like, this is way better. Because what people need on top of a course is they need support, because they would email us, ask questions in a group chat. And I was like, wait, if all this customer support could be on one platform, that's perfect. And then combined with calls, so I just knew it would work because I did launch a course. So it was perfect timing as well. And the rest is, you're going to end that is history.
Nice. And how did you guys meet?
Emma, do you want to talk about our origin story? It goes way back.
So we
have the mic, just the mic.
Sorry. Yeah, so we essentially go way back. And, back in our high school days, we, one of those COD days when we're playing COD and we're not ordering pizza. So at the same time, we're like, what if we never wanted what if we never had a job when we start something of our own? But it was like just like in a shower thought. Nothing, we didn't pay attention too much. It was only after when we graduated from university, he goes to KPMG, and I just graduated university. And now this is summer of 2020, and like it was a scene out of a movie where he just got out. He got fired from KPMG. He got laid off, and that's when he's like, no, I need to completely consider something else. But at the same time, he was interviewing for startups, startup programs, etc. And I just graduated. I'm broke and I'm unemployed. So I'm like, okay, well, the next thing in life would be getting a job. So now we're in this parking lot in front of a pizza shop having pizza, and we're like, hey, Farhoon, maybe you could get a referral that way, and like you could connect people on LinkedIn this way. And Farhoon's like, Emma, maybe when you interview, you can say this and that. And I'm like, yeah, Farhoon, maybe we can have like a resume this way and that. So we're talking about CVs and referrals, and we're talking about networking and all that way back 4 years ago. We never knew we would turn this into an actual up and running business, right? But at the same time, while we're having pizza and while we're talking about landing our next job and going full on into the job search, we were also experimenting with other gigs like drop shipping. That happened, YouTube, and then we also that took forward with us having our own podcast on what we can do. So he landed he got a job at a startup. He flew to England. I flew to Canada because I got a job at Citibank and as a software engineer. So we started off our corporate lives in summer of 2021, and that's how it started. But in the meantime, we were always in each other's earpieces. I'm reading books of like Unscripted, MJ DeMarco, and he loves that book, Millionaire Fastlane. So since then we were just trying to exit the corporate world somehow, and still like after work we're trying to figure something out. And he actually made the exit pretty quick because he's already in the startup world. So finishing his startup job, he found his co-founder from through Antler, right? Through Antler, and then that's where he started off International Hustlers. International Heroes. Sorry, the International Hustlers is like muscle memory now, but International Heroes, and that's where I was always in Farhoon's earpiece. Of Farhoon's like, this is what we're doing, and I'm like, Farhoon, maybe you want to try this out, maybe we'll try that. So I just really wanted to I was really rooting for Farhoon, making sure that whatever happens, I want Farhoon to win and want Farhoon to take off, and then we can deal with my exit later on. So it's like a scene out of Prison Break. You set yourself free. And so International Heroes took off, and then when it came to an end, International Hustler started. And then this was meanwhile I'm just contemplating, hey, it's been 3 years now almost at Citibank. What do I do? Farhoon, what do I do? Should I quit? Should I maybe find a job at a startup, because you found a job at a startup. So, and that's how you took off. And then by start of March, Farhoon was like, you know what, forget everything, just fly over to London, drop everything in Canada, and then we'll make something happen. Let's just let this opportunity is real. People are engaging. We have a mass following on LinkedIn. Farhoon has a mass following on LinkedIn, and this is a lively community, not just WhatsApp, but ever since it got on Skool, there was a lot of attraction, a lot of engagement on Skool as well. So Farhoon is like, just drop everything, come to London. And I'm like, okay. And now I'm prepping myself up. I'm like, okay, how do I quit? Because I've never quit a job before, right? And this was last week of March. I was seriously considering pros and cons. Let me quit my job.
What year is this?
This is recently. This is March.
This year?
3 months ago. I was in exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So end of March, I'm convincing my parents. I'm like, everybody, I think I'm gonna quit Citibank. And everybody's like, you're gonna throw your life away. You're dumb. I'm like, no, trust me. No, you're dumb. So as I'm, I remember this. It was yesterday, March 25th. Monday, I woke up and I'm like, you know what? Today's Monday. I'll work today, but I'm gonna quit tomorrow because Tuesday, right? But then I get a message from my manager saying, Ahmed, we need to speak to you for half hour, please. Would you be ready at 10 o'clock? And this manager, he's my senior manager. He's never spoken to me in my life. I think he spoke to me twice. Once, it was a sign. once he introduced me to the team, welcomed me in, and then the second time was that day on 25th. So I already saw it coming because there was a mass restructuring going on, mass layoffs happening in Citibank. It's still up in the news, and I'm like, maybe this could be me. And then lo and behold, he shared the best news of my life, and he said, "Hey, we're letting you go." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, this is great."
Wow.
And and then we cut a cake. I was gonna quit anyways. He's like, "Mom, I got laid off," and my dad's laughing off the couch, and he's like, "You always wanted, you dreamt for this, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah. By the way, I'm flying off to London now." It's like, what? Yeah. So.
And what happened then? Then you started working with Farhoon immediately, and like what happened then?
Immediately. You want me to take this or
Yeah,
take it?
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in a nutshell, there's another story as well. As soon as he quit, and I think he got not quit. As soon as he got laid off, he got fired. I think he called me, right, like the same night or same day. And I think the first 5 seconds I was like, "Welcome, you're an entrepreneur now. Welcome to the world of entrepreneurship." Because I got fired as well, exactly just slightly less than 4 years ago, and I had the same Zoom call. But in a nutshell, he moved over. Do you want to take that bit? Like how you moved over?
Yeah. So essentially, that's when Farhoon was like, "Congratulations, man. This is your villain story. You're an entrepreneur now. Welcome. Join us." I'm like, "Great. Let me get start packing." And it was the move was very quick, but in between, like, I was very well familiar with International Hustlers because I was in there the entire time. I was also in the community. I was even taking part time while at Citibank. After I was taking sales calls. I was trying out brainstorming some ideas with Farhoon, and I was well affiliated with the team in general. And that was like. Before January, so even throughout International Heroes, I was following Farhoon's journey, and we've been very, communicating frequently because we're best buds. We're from way back when, right? So when it came to the move, that's when I'm like, okay, well, I'm already ready for this. This is nothing new to me. It's just now this is my full-time thing. Now I'm a full-time entrepreneur now. Look at me, I escaped the matrix. So it was just me explaining that to everybody around me, not just my family, but friends. I'm like, yeah, you know what? See everybody in Canada. You're going to find me in London if you ever visit, come through. So that's when, I packed up my bag. It was a very quick decision, and there was not a lot of thought put into it because it was already well familiar. So it's just, I have to take that leap and move along. So
just to add here, like, there was so much convincing going on. We completely forgot that. Just him moving over, like, his parents were very skeptical, and although he wanted to do it, but his parents were like, "Oh no, it's like businesses fail and they won't work. What's this school? Is it even going to work? It might be a fad." And they had all the common objections that any entrepreneur would have before quitting their job and starting a community-based business. And I was like, "Look, you need to tell your parents that just give me 6 months and let me prove myself. Like, you need to negotiate with them." And I think I spoke to your dad as well and your mom at some point, and it's like so much back and forth. And when we finally got the ticket for him to come from Toronto to London, it honestly didn't even. It felt like it didn't even feel real. I was like, shit, like, now he's actually coming over, and his parents have now they're out of the way. And he told his parents, "Look, I'm not doing this. I will not go back to Citibank. I'm not going to go back into a job." And it was completely phenomenal when he flew over, and we actually went to the airport to get him. And I think when you flew over, April or when?
April 13th.
April 13th you flew over. I think that month we did 32K British pounds. So what, 40K USD? Or not even that. I think we did 32K revenue, but 28K cash collected. So that's around 35K USD we did. And the next month after that, after him being here, we did 65K USD. Because basically he took over service delivery pretty much completely. There was another coach as well, but he was taking 70% of the work, and then that coach left and he took on everything. And that's what actually enabled me to then really think clearly when it comes to marketing. And I joined Max Premium as well. And then I was really just thinking of ways to just get as many people into my community so I could win the school games. So he was that guy that literally, if it weren't for him coming, we wouldn't have won the school games. Because I got that clarity. He was like, "Don't worry, bro. I handle service delivery. Don't worry about it." And then I could think clearly. So that's what it is in a nutshell. You need to get someone that you trust to take on the work that you're doing if you have an existing business, so that you could think of working on the business, not working in the business. Because I was deep in the business. Yeah. That's what he helped me do.
Just wanted to add to that as well. Just wanted to say, this wouldn't have been possible without Farhoon and the entire team, because Farhoon is a phenomenal leader and a motivator, right? And the more Farhoon pushes, he leads by example. So it's like, yeah, now because I'm seeing him push, like the whole team wants to push harder. And the fact that we hit the milestones, but we're not complacent with it. We're like, okay, we hit this. This is the lowest bar now. We need to get to the next step. 65K. So now like, no, 100K. No. We need to think beyond that, right? So we're not dwelling on the milestones we hit. We keep going. And my biggest switch was in the self-belief, because I'm like, hey, I'm joining you, Farhoon, for full time, and I'm putting back my corporate world behind. Like, okay, well, how quick can I become an entrepreneur? And he's like, no, you've already got this. Now you just need to act on being an entrepreneur. And I'm like, okay, coaching. How do we coach? He's like, the same way we were coaching each other in that pizza shop in outside the car. You just have to say that over and over again. I mean, you're pretty good at it already. So me being just like taking over delivery, and that's what made me realize, oh no, actually, that this makes sense. I've been doing this and I've been coaching, and people are being very receptive about it, and they're gaining a lot of value from it. And that got me that self-assurance with that self-belief, and seeing positive results kept me going. And I was like, let me take care of this side. You take care of everything else that's going on in the business. And people were positioned very nicely. The DM setters were there. People in operations were there. So everybody was positioned according to their strengths. So that really took us off as well.
He had no experience in coaching, by the way. Go ahead, Dylan.
Yeah, I just have a question for you guys. Like, not only maybe just touch a little bit on too, like, why you guys found Skool, like that was actually going to be the perfect thing for you guys, but also too, like, what's the process from somebody like just being a complete beginner and not really knowing who you guys are to becoming like a paying customer?
So I think it's a really great question. So first question is how we found Skool.
Yeah, and like why
Second
was
is
it
process.
Yep.
So how I found Skool, I think it was more of, there are hundreds of thousands of people out there who in some capacity run a community. Community is a word, right? It's a buzzword. Do you run a WhatsApp group? You run a community. Do you have a Discord channel? You run a community. Do you usually lead? Do you usually arrange stuff? You're a community leader. If you manage that and it's not painful for you, and you could do that every day for the rest of your life, you could run a Skool community, a profitable Skool community, and win the Skool games and be here in Vegas as well. That's how simple it is. So that's step one. Like, how do you actually decide if a Skool community, like if you could run a Skool community? Second thing, the process. Well, there's loads of ways. So I worked with a coach, and the reason I worked with a coach was I just wanted to save time. But then after I worked with Ted, which was actually, I did what would have taken me months. I did that in like a few days. But then after I launched my Skool community in January, I found the masterclass. And when I watched pretty much most of it, and I was watching most of it, I was like, damn, if I had this, because I can execute. Like, one thing I take pride on is I can just execute. I can just sit down on my laptop and get shit done. Because that's the most important determinant to success.
Mic, but I'm just checking.
Sorry. Yeah, so I saw the masterclass and I was like, if I had this, I would have not needed coaching. I would have followed this and then joined the Q&As and got stuff done. And literally that's one way. So one way is a coach. Second way is joining a community like Max Premium and just following the steps. And any question you have during the Q&As. And in fact, if I were to fast forward to the Skool games in May, that's what I did. Right? I just came on the calls, raised my hand, I'd be like, hey, I'm doing this. What do you think of my offer? And Max would give feedback. And I was like, hijack the calls completely. And that's how I never got coached for. I never paid any coach for winning the Skool games. I had so many people reaching out to me. It's insane. Like, hey, 2K, we'll offer you this many calls, we'll offer you this, like money back guarantee. And I was like, I knew I can execute. I just, for $129, I pay that and like double my revenue, and the ROI is insane. Just follow everything they say, and anything that you're unsure of, join the call and ask a question. And that's exactly what I replicated in my community. Like, there's a 5-day course, follow any questions. There's a daily Q&A. I had one this morning. People asking, hey, Farhoon, the sweet spot module, I can't find it. Cool, I'll help you with it. But if they do the majority of the work, it's much easier to then, help them in the Q&As. That's what it was. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome to hear, man.
Nice. And was there any part of your guys' journey where it felt like, this is not good? Like, it doesn't have to be during the school era, but was there any part of your guys' journey where it just felt
coaching?
Like hopeless?
Can you take coaching?
Ooh, okay. Okay. So before we started our job accelerator program, so we have different programs that we launched.
Contacts, yeah.
Yeah. So first of all, we were giving. We had Academy, just the Academy, International Hustlers Academy, where we're giving value on, how to write your CV, how to search for jobs, sweet spot session, etc. And then we said, hey, listen, let's up the game a little and give one-on-one consultation, because they're having questions. We want to answer those questions, but they really want a person to speak to, right? And we said, okay, you know what? Let's up the ante a little bit. Let's launch Academy 2.0. They have access to us, and in the Academy 2.0, now we have 20 students, and now they want one-on-one with me and another coach, and that was by far operationally the biggest crack for us, because I'm like, okay, my hours are going like that, and I'm still exhausted, and I have to on a weekly basis give all of these people my attention, and operationally
DM as well.
DMing as well. So we downloaded the app called Voxer, and on Voxer they're just
tough,
we had
right?
this, and
do
for
we do people
here?
who are listening, like Voxer, it's basically like one-on-one DM support, right?
Exactly.
It's WhatsApp, but the UI isn't great, but it's made for like voice memos and coaching in a nutshell.
Yeah. So it's a walkie-talkie app, so they can instantly send voice notes, and we can, reply with voice notes. So it really helps with the communication. But God, oh God, there's 20 people now, and they're just going on with voice notes, and I have to respond almost immediately, because if I don't, then they start complaining. I'm like, you promised one-on-one support and you personalized support. Where are you? And I'm like, okay, relax. And for us, we thought, they're getting high value and personalized support and one-on-one coaching, but we wanted to scale that. So that's when we had this biggest bottleneck on how on earth are we gonna scale this to hundreds and like thousands, and that's when we thought, hey, listen, we need to really switch up our offer and like the program in general. So yeah.
So I want to add something here. So in a nutshell, we would have hit, guaranteed would have hit 100K USD in March. I deliberately stopped there because I probably would have gone a heart attack. But I was super paranoid about I'm selling coaching, and I've got these coaches in who are great, but then I'm not sure about because I need more coaches in. And the two coaches I got in, one is Ahmed, another guy, both of them he's a smart guy, really hard worker. And other guys worked as a coach for another coaching company that went from 0 to 200K a month in a year. And they did the similar thing, but for Chinese students in London, in the UK. So I knew that, look, I wasn't super confident I could scale and also get top coaches in fast. So I was like, so we discontinued Academy 2.0. And we're like, we're going to do a product where it's easier to deliver and it's a better bang for buck for students. And that's where the Skool games was perfect, beautiful. So we ended Academy 2.0. Then we started just getting people into the community, the Academy, so our private community, but giving them lifetime access. That did well. But that was still around 375 USD to 625 USD, so not a lot, 500 pounds max. Then we want something over $1,000, high ticket, right? And that's when the Skool games came into play, because we wanted to win the Skool games. Then we were like, what do we launch, which basically is top quality work, and there's no one-on-one support.
And just sorry to interrupt you.
Sorry, yeah. And how can we give top quality work and also manage expectations well and solve the biggest pain point? So managing expectations well, we don't promise one-on-one support, we offer you done for you CV, cover letter, LinkedIn, so we hand it over email. Manage expectations well. If we haven't promised one-on-one support over Vox or WhatsApp, then they're not going to complain. And then thirdly, in terms of actually biggest problem, which is not landing interviews, that's because their CV is pretty bad and LinkedIn is pretty bad. So we were like, we do a done for you service and scale it through VAs, which are much more reliable. And we built that for the Skool games because it's the fastest way to make money without affecting my personal brand. So my personal brand right now is top notch because I literally, as I saw a product that could have made me a millionaire this year, but I would have been hated. So I'm not going to sell that. I want to be loved. I want to build a product that actually gets results. So I'm not promising them jobs. Now we're promising them interviews. And the accelerator we launched end of May. It's been a month. And over 10 people have landed 4 interviews. And these people have landed 0 interview over the past 6 months, right? And then they landed 4 interviews after joining the accelerator, after our team did their CV. So in a nutshell, the Skool games pushed us so well. we built a product that people want and love, and we're literally just scaling that. So ticket price is what, 1.5K to 2K USD, and everyone's getting interviews. Guaranteed, everyone's getting interviews because we do their CV. And most of them have 3 to 4 paid CVs. Like, who reads a 3 paid CV? No one does. But these people have 3 paid CVs with like font like 9, super small.
What's a CV for people that might not know?
Oh yeah,
exactly what that is.
if you're in America, resume. If you're in America, resume. In the UK and Europe, we say CV. Like your snapshot of your career in a nutshell.
That's super cool. And so you basically built like an entire product for the school games, and that went insanely good, of course.
And actually, you know what's interesting? Sorry, I cut you off. I built the offer and I joined Max's Q&A call, and I was like, hey, what do you guys think of this offer? And I got live feedback on that. And Max was like, yeah, looks good. Just add scarcity, add urgency there, make them feel like they're going to miss out if they don't get it, which is true because like we actually capped it. We stopped selling it like 29th May or so. And then we launched it, I think, on the 22nd, 23rd of May. And then we were at 35K, or I don't know the numbers, but 35K. Between 30 and 35K on the 22nd of May. And we kind of went from 35K to 65K in the last 7 days. Just by... 8th place yeah. Second place. We were second place for like a few days. We went down to 3rd place. Just by selling the accelerator. And it's still selling.
That's super.
We sell it over the DMs now. Accelerator. So powerful. Sorry? LinkedIn, yeah, purely LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Sorry, you were saying. Sorry, go
No,
ahead.
all good. Yeah, that's super impressive. And what is now your plan on like retention, like keeping the people in?
Really good question. So we've been so busy with, to be honest, service delivery. Ahmed especially super busy service delivery. That's retention is a problem that we knew we've had, but we've been hyper focused on getting the accelerator to be very efficient. Now it's like we've got literally one remote hire in Pakistan who's pumping out Ahmed level CVs. Not like probably like 9 on 10, right? And the CVs are perfect, cover letters are perfect, so that's perfect. Our next problem to solve is retention. And how we're going to solve it is, I'm basically picking every school games winner's brain on how they're solving it currently. Like Jack is a beast at retention. His churn is like 20%, right? I've been picking Max's brain as well. Sorry?
The AI guy?
100%. He's doing a great job. And he has like really multiple, his different like stuff he gives for different levels. It's really good. So that's the next thing we want to solve for. Because like the advice he gave me, which is great for anyone watching, is because like when you're going to start a community, your retention is going to be terrible. Like 50 to 70% are going to churn second month. That's normal, right? But as long as you identify that as a problem and then you incentivize them to stay, like a really good gem Jack gave me this morning was, well, the one thing that they want the most, you keep at level 6 or level 8. And to get to level 6 or level 8, you have to engage. And the more they engage, the more they've invested. The harder it is for them to leave. So the one thing that they want the most is CV reviews. So we could bake that into level 6 or level 8. So I know for a fact that if I were to dedicate energy on that, I could solve that. But that's a really good question. It's the biggest problem for every school community is retention. But if you're watching this and you start a community, don't worry about your churn being high. It's normal. It'll take a while, but you'll fix it. It's like any problem in your business. That's my advice.
I just wanted to ask you quick, like, how did you guys feel after you won the school games? And like,
We should both take
that
this.
affected like, am I in the right thing?
Yeah.
How did that affect like, what are you gonna do going forward? Like, are you gonna change your offer or keep the same offer and just?
I think what we've realized is, so I want Emma to chip in as well. Like, so we both definitely agree on we did get post-school games depression for the first week, and didn't really feel like purpose. We didn't make, like, I didn't sell much for 7 days. We were just service delivery.
Maybe for the audience, like, what is school game depression?
Sorry?
Maybe for the audience.
Yes.
What is it?
I think Max can probably relate, but school games depression is kind of like, if you're watching, and obviously if you want to be an entrepreneur, or you are an entrepreneur, you're obviously very competitive. So you probably play sports or video games, and when you win that big competition, or you come first, or you win that football game, like the day after, that slump is what I felt. Like, oh, I've won this. What next? So like life felt like I had no purpose, and it was quite deep. Like it was so bad that we just flew to Hungary. We just went to Budapest for like a week to work, just looking for purpose. And we got work done. We didn't make a lot of money, but I think we did realize that what we want from life. We want a sunnier place. But in a nutshell, if you're watching this and then you win the school games, it's normal to feel depressed for the next week or so after. There's people that said they still felt it like a month after, which is insane.
Is it like when you like if you were to climb Mount Everest and then you did it,
Exactly.
and then you're like, well, fuck, what else am I
What
gonna
ex-
climb?
exactly. That was literally it. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
So
Sorry, I get
the,
that messed up.
no, the day we found out that we got third on school games, Farhoon and I were looking at, damn, second was right there. It was right there. Because we were so close. We were second for a couple days. I mean, for a couple hours, and like it was going up and down, up and down. So that was a roller coaster for the entire team. We're like, okay, no, can we lock in at second place? But then, very last moment, we hit third, and we're like, oh god, third. Oh, it's not second, is it? But after that, no, we had a nice celebratory dinner. So that was good. We had like lamb and rice. But the next day, when everything sunk in, we're like, oh God, we've promised heavily to so many people. There's so many people that joined school games. Somebody needs to deliver this. Somebody needs to get the work done. So and that was me.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask. Are you going to change your offer going forward? Like, was the school games offer something like completely unique that you're not gonna
Yeah.
do, or is it
So it was completely unique, but what we do is we love doing like a product and then a 2.0 and then like a Pro Max and that kind of thing. We have jokes about that. But we might do like an accelerator 2.0, which is just like right now in a nutshell, we do like a few done for you things. So we tailor their CVs for 2 jobs and tailor their cover letter for 2 jobs. We're thinking of doing a 2.0 version where we do that for 10 jobs. And then that for like CVs and cover letters. And they can take that, apply, and guaranteed get an interview. That's what we're considering.
And that's under the same community?
Same community, yeah. Same ICP, similar product, but just more support. And they'll get more interviews. And getting a job, and like for anyone watching that's interested in this, is like you could launch a very similar model if you're based in Canada, the US, Australia, anywhere where there's hundreds of thousands of international students, because they struggle everywhere, right? Literally helping them get interviews, because that's the biggest struggle across the board. I get messages from Belgium, from Sweden, from Ireland, so many from Ireland, from Canada, from the US, from international students saying, Farhoon, I wish there was someone like you in my country, because I'm not landing interviews. Because like, think of it from a recruiter's perspective. A recruiter or hiring manager that sees a CV of someone that is international, they think, oh, visa, too much faff, too much effort, I'm not going to even invite them for an interview. So if you're watching this right now and you're like, oh, but I don't have an idea, I'm giving you an idea, I'm giving you the map. Literally all you got to do is execute, and you can join my community and copy what I'm doing word for word to the T, and I guarantee you'll make money. Guarantee you. It's not hard. Like we were discussing this yesterday, like the secret to actually growing on any social media platform is looking at what works and copying it and tweaking it a bit, obviously, but you need to start with what works.
Yeah. Like I use you as an example all the time
No way. Thank you very
in my
much.
community, because that's what you talked about all day yesterday as well. Just copy what works when it comes to traffic, but also when it comes to your product and your offering. Instead of
100%.
just reinventing the wheel. It's like a thing that we entrepreneurs
100%.
like to do. We want to be unique. We try to like
No.
get the idea in the shower, and you're basically just telling that you should just like look at what other people are doing.
100%.
You can even look at what you guys are doing. Just copy what you guys
Copy
do.
us. Copy us, and then we'll collaborate together. I would
Yeah.
be happy if you guys copy me, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel good.
Yeah. All right. So we touched on the retention bit as well, but what do you guys do in terms of like traffic, right? How do you even get attention? How do you get eyeballs on your offer?
Yeah.
And then I want to talk about conversion as well.
I can take that, yeah. So I think what works really well is, like step one is, most people think of the platform first. That's incorrect. Never think of the platform.
In terms
Think
of
of-
traffic, you mean?
In terms of
right?
traffic, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking of how to get traffic, the best way, the way I did it, and I learned from my mistakes, right? So I, 4 years, tried to get traffic. I went from 0 to 300 followers, 6 months. Instagram, 0 to 60K subscribers. YouTube, 3 months. And then I realized, and when I did the program about like how to start a company, I learned that it's always customer first. Don't think of channel, don't think of product, think of customer first, think of problem. So I thought of, okay, who do I want to serve? I want to serve international students. Cool, that's step one. Where do they hang? If they're looking for a job, they hang on LinkedIn. I'm going to market on LinkedIn. So people open up LinkedIn when they're desperate for a job and they see me. And they see me, hey, this is how I got this person to get a job. This is how Arti got a job. This is how Zach got a job. This is how Ivana got a job. And that's what I did. So traffic was, I would literally, like, this is going to blow your mind, and it blows my mind as well. I made, like my first month of doing business solo, I made 18K USD without showing my face on like without no video, through copy purely. I had a course, but that was a paid course. Everyone that bought in that first month never bought my course. I got people in February because then I got my database. I kind of pitched to them. But everyone that bought in January, none of them saw me on videos purely through copy. Like they saw me on video on a sales call. So that's how powerful it is. You can actually sell. And me and Max were talking about this yesterday. Like Andrew Kirby's killing it on Twitter. Yeah. Like and I think of it as I've really struggled through making video content. Ahmed is really good at video content. I hate it. Like it's just I'm not made for video content. Like right now I can do this naturally, but I don't like the process of thinking of it. Like but LinkedIn is perfect for me. You can spend 15 minutes, write a post, get hundreds of thousands of views and thousands of leads. So that's your first question, which is traffic. Second question, conversion. So what's actually beautiful is Ahmed is a hard worker. So Ahmed didn't just do service delivery. He also sold. So he also, do you want to talk about like, do you want us to get into how he actually sold? Yeah. Like the process, cold call to closing call, and how you made, 8K in one day, sat on one chair?
Absolutely. 100%. And we also want to know, like, how did you even get the calls? Like, how do you go from LinkedIn to the sale?
Yeah.
Should I get that LinkedIn to sale and then so LinkedIn to sale in a nutshell, think of it as I'd write a post with a really strong hook, like here's how Maria got a job in 8 days and got promoted in 3 months. Really strong hook. If you're looking for a job and you see that, you click see more. So my first goal is to get them to click see more. Then the post is her whole story, really well written, with like really simple English on her literal action steps and how she got a job. At the end I say, if you want to see the CV that Maria used to get an interview within 24 hours, comment CV. They comment CV, I get hundreds of comments. And I say, when they comment CV, then I DM them saying, here's Maria's CV. And then I ask them the same day or the next day, it's manual by the way. So LinkedIn is hustle. No ManyChat, manually. I was doing that manually. Right now I've got, my other brother who's doing it. But in a nutshell, then I asked him, how did you find Maria's CV? Oh, it's great. I like this. I like that. Cool. What's stopping you from creating your own CV like that? Oh, Farhoon, I struggle with creating a bullet point. I struggle with like quantifying my experience. Oh, that's very interesting. And what have you done to solve that? Then you start understanding their pain points. I start giving them some value. Then boom, piss them. Oh, we could actually help you in our academy, in our accelerator, depending on like, we get them to fill a form depending on their budget. But in a nutshell, from there we get them on a discovery call, right? From a discovery call, closing call, which Ahmed took, and then closing call, close, and then into the academy. But then what we did for the school games is we skipped discovery call, we started cold calling them up, screening them, like Ahmed would do that, and then getting them on a closing call. But Ahmed, you could talk more about that whole process of cold call to closing call and then cash collection.
Absolutely. So the biggest key here is warming up the leads that we got from LinkedIn. So Farhoon did a great job of giving them the freebies of here you go CVs and templates, and they were already very nurtured up. And from there, the biggest transition was, hey, fill up the form so that we can take you forward for an onboarding call. So from there, we would get the leads on our own database, our Airtable. So that's where we have all their information. We've got their phone numbers, and then I would, especially for the school games, I would literally have to phone them up one by one. Hey, listen, did you get the CV template, or have you been speaking to Farhoon? Yeah, and they'll be like, yeah, absolutely. We would love to take this conversation forward. And then okay, so well, how do you think we can help you? What are your biggest pain points? So on the cold call, I'm just trying to nurture them and pick their brains of what they really need. And within those 2 or 3 minutes, I've already screened them of whether or not they're a good fit. And they have enough rapport because they've heard my voice, they know what I'm talking about. And from there, I would say, hey, so okay, this is great. I think we can definitely help you out. How about we book you in for an onboarding call as soon as possible? What's the soonest time? Today? All right, I'll see you in an hour. How about you watch this VSL that we have so you get a clear idea of what we can do for you? And then they would hang up, and then I'd send them the VSL and then have the onboarding call with them. And then boom, have a script. We had like a very nice script of like asking the right questions for them to convince themselves to sort of buy into the program. So have you ever gotten your CV done before? Because this CV is not landing you any interviews clearly. No, we haven't. Okay, well, I was giving them extra value over value. It was completely a value conversation where I was like, here, you can fix this, you can fix that, you can do this. What about your LinkedIn? Your LinkedIn needs to be completely revamped because this is definitely not going to pop up in front of all the other applicants. So they got all this massive value just from that conversation on the onboarding call. It was like, okay, let's get you signed up. How I can help you?
And also, sorry, go ahead. VSL, for anyone watching, is a video sales letter. So imagine it's a short video talking about like your problem and here's our solution that solves your problem in a nutshell. That's
Yeah.
all.
But the last thing about them, I could literally see them, climbing this hump of, I really want to take it, but should I sign up right now? And what happened, what was beautiful about the school games was I genuinely had urgency, and I was like making it urgent for them as well. Like, listen, we're doing this only for the school games. We're gonna give you this no-brainer offer. You're never gonna get this again. And that just skyrocketed a lot of our sales. And in just one day, just me on the phone calls, I made 8,000 USD in a day. And I was like, Farhoon, what happened? I was like, Jordan, in the Flats kitchen.
And what was how did you get them to buy now? Did you say did you tell them like, yeah, we have this crazy offer, it's right now, we have this because we want to win the school games? And, like, did you have anything else?
It was on the school, yeah. So we were giving away this. The line was, listen, we're giving you this ridiculous scholarship.
Yeah.
This is what it's worth, and this
scholarship as well.
is a scholarship.
Right?
Yeah, we're using the right words. So we're not using discounts. That went out of our vocabulary. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Everyone gets a scholarship.
Everyone.
And they love that, right? Your target market.
100%. That's what made it legit, right? It was the wording that we were so intentional about the wording, like no discounts. Don't even talk. Maybe, you know what? If your visa is expiring within 12 months, we'll give you a visa priority scholarship on top of the scholarship we're already giving you. So they're like, yay, more scholarships, and
You feel special, right? Like,
Yeah.
Just to add with scholarships, like the thing with scholarships is, since scholarships are because I knew when you get a scholarship, it's very limited time bound. So they already have that in their mindset. But if I've got a scholarship, I've got to accept it, like today or like within the next 24 hours. So they know they're not going to get it again. And it was a very good way to get them to feel like they would literally send voice notes and messages, thank you messages for getting the scholarship. They were grateful. To this day, I've got people in my WhatsApp, Farhoon, thank you so much. I wouldn't have been able to afford it without a scholarship.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And the truth is, we would give really deep scholarships to people who really need it. So we would literally be like, hey, Ahmed, look, there's this guy. They've got 3 months left on their visa. Give them 85%. Don't worry. It's fine. Don't worry about margins. This person needs it. So it was actually helping them as well. It's also for us, we're getting faster closes.
Yeah. Yeah, I just laugh because the positioning is so genius. It's so good. It's so good. And they understand it as well. Like, they want it, right? The market wants it.
they want it. No, their time is passing by. They need a job.
Yeah.
They need some sort of support because, well, what's insane about the average student graduating from university, they have 2 years as a graduate visa, but for most of the people that join the program, they've already spent that first year just chilling around, exploring, doing their own thing, and they get no results. And they're like, no, now we only have 1 year left, or maybe 6 months left, or even 3 months left. Now we need to do something. Could you, Ahmed, Farhoon, International Hustlers, please help us out? And just to even add to that urgency, they've already, warmed. They want the program. It's just the twist here is like, when it comes to urgency, it's like, okay, well, listen, this offer is available for the call. After the call, we can't guarantee you this scholarship offer, and in order for you to join, there's only 3 spots left. So that is like the kicker. We're like, okay, only 3 spots left.
Just to add here with spots, right? Generally speaking, we had points where we generally we're going to give more scholarships. Like, there was like a day where like, okay, we're not going to do any more scholarships this day, because scholarship students also got I think for the last few days, they got a CV review on top of that, personalized by me, right? Not CV writing by me. So if I'm writing their CV, I'm also doing like a job search game plan for them 1 hour. Like, I'm not going to give 2 hours of my time because that's unscalable. Because anyone watching here is saying, oh, like, I want to make an offer. I also don't want to be, drowning in service delivery. So we'd be like, okay, this offer with this scholarship where Farhoon writes your CV is only valid today. And I did that for a number of people. So urgency is really important. If you tie it to value, like, okay, you can only get this discount, or depending on your niche, or you can say price or whatever, and this value if you join today on this call. Like, because people are like, oh yeah, but I can join next week. Most people say that. How do I join next month? I think about it, I speak to my wife, but then say, yeah, you can join next month, that's not a problem, but you won't get this offer and you won't get this scholarship, or you won't get this discount. So that's what works so well. We never say, yeah, of course you can join. You don't never want to say no. You want to say, yeah, of course, we'll be happy to onboard you next week as well. However, you're not going to get this scholarship or this offer next week, and it's not going to come back. So that's what works really well.
I just wanted to add to that and just say about the spots as well, right? When it comes to us enrolling people into the program, internally we wanted to cap it at some point because we just can't give the program or the scholarship to everybody because after the school games we're gonna have to deliver. And even we think about this delivery side, can we execute and deliver everything within June on what we've promised in May? So even that, so we had to have an internal cap of like, okay, these spots, so we can't take more than this operationally. Otherwise, this is gonna go forward. Like this could go on from June, July, and then all those months. So the Job Accelerator program would lose its purpose. So we really had to decide of like, okay, we're selling all the program to so many, but at some point we need to be careful with the delivery in June, and that's what we're now going through. Is like now we're focused heavily on delivery, even though we're very tempted on making those sales, but. That's something
we're getting back to sales now. So we did a 1.5k day. We're like past 3 days. 2 of these past 3 days were 2k USD. We're literally selling the exact offer we made for the school games, but now I'm not doing their CV. So yeah, as we said, the CV has now been done by a remote hire, like a VA. So it's still doing well. Like that offer, honestly, I'm so grateful to school games because I could have never imagined I would make 65k in my 5th month. Like I was like, my goal in January was like, how do I pay my rent? That's it. Like, how do I pay my rent? How do I get 1.5k, like 2k for my rent and health insurance? That's it. That's all I cared about. And like through school, I went from in December. What's also interesting, just to go back, is in December, I took out a loan to get coaching from Ted, who's really good. It was worth every penny, so I don't regret it. Took out a loan to pay for his coaching in December. And in January, I made 18k through just because I launched my community on Skool. Because the thing is, my audience is very deep stuck into the job search. So they actually, a lot of them thought I built Skool. They're like, Farhoon, you're a genius. Like, this is amazing. And I'm like, by the way, like, I don't own this. I just got my stuff on here. It's like a hosting platform. But then I tried that for a few people. They wouldn't understand it. So I just stopped telling them. I was like, yeah, thank you very much. So I'm like, I appreciate that. So they just loved it. When they saw Skool, I organized it. This is genius. This is exactly what we needed. I've had a guy say to me, Farhoon, universities should do this. This guy goes to Strathclyde University, which is, I think, top 15 in the world. I think number 1 or so in Scotland and top 15 in the UK. And he said, this university should do this. And the guy's worked at EY as a consultant. Like he's done really well. So in a nutshell, just because like Skool enabled me to get all of the value out of my brain and on Google Docs in a really organized manner, solving the problems that my customers have in the best way possible. Like I'm super grateful to Skool. Like I wouldn't be where I am without Skool. And they haven't paid me. They should, but they haven't paid me. I swear, they haven't paid me a penny.
So like 65k in 1 month, would that have even, if you kept everything the same, except you didn't have the scarcity and urgency, would you have been able to make that?
No, without a doubt, no.
Which is huge, right? It's
Yeah,
like all about the offer then, essentially, what you're saying.
Offer and scarcity and urgency is like, how do you get the person to make the decision? Because they are, we had to have scarcity. Emma, do you want to tell everyone about the scarcity we had at Vegas, Caesar Palace, the hotel? Do you remember, or do you want me to?
Yeah.
You just mentioned this last night.
Yeah, it was 2 nights ago, and I was about to get like Caesar's Palace, which is apparently one of the best hotels in Vegas, and it was $280, and for 1 night for like a deluxe suite. And I was about to get it, but the Uber was waiting, and I was like, I'll just get it there. So I didn't click the buy button because I had to put in my details. So we got to the hotel without booking, and I queued up, and I got there, and I was like, oh, it's $700 plus VAT plus. I was like, $700. I swear it was $280 plus tax, right? She's like, oh, $700, but I can give you a discount, and if you buy now. I was like, okay, interesting. So I felt like, okay, fair play. And then she's like, oh, but it's like after discount, it's $380 plus like a deposit. And I was like, okay, how about I buy it from booking.com? Because I still haven't got a lot of money. I'm still poor. Like I still think like, oh shit, $8 water, I'm not buying it. I still think like that, right? So, and I was like, I'm going to get it on booking.com now. I'll come through, right? It's like, I'll get a better room for the same price, right? She's like, no, but like, it'll take 30 minutes to come through. Then you got to queue up again. So you got to like, I was like, so what does that mean? It's like, yeah, the only option you have is buying through me. And then I did get it for $39. So I paid $100 extra because I didn't want to queue up again. So she created the urgency. She's like, you're going to have to wait 30 minutes. You're going to have to queue up again. and wait an hour. And it's like, my hour is worth more than that. I'll just buy it. And I got it. So that just shows like exactly what Max says. Great offer combined with scarcity and urgency is what sells. You can't have one or the other. You can't apply scarcity to a bad offer. No one's going to buy.
And when you do it really, really, really well, right? That's when people are grateful that they're buying it.
Yes.
Like you guys have been
Yes.
able to
Yes.
right? They're happy and super grateful that they're actually getting this
100%.
opportunity to buy.
Just wanted to add to
Which is
that.
very interesting.
Just wanted to add to that. You know, while during the school games, I was very, very quick with the program sales, like the onboarding calls. This one person was taking a little longer, and I said, listen, I don't have enough time. I must apologize because I have another person waiting for this program. So how about you, take the time to think about it, and I can't really offer you nothing. Maybe you won't be able to join. But right now, this is a difficult conversation we're having. So I hung up, moved on to the next program, the next onboarding call, closed that person, and then the next day, that same person who I hung up on was like, Ahmed, I've been sending you emails. I've been speaking to the team at International Hustlers UK. I haven't heard a response. And then he ended up, he was texting this all to me on my phone, on my actual personal phone number. I phoned him up and said, hey, what's going on? He's like, no, thank God you called me back. Could you sign me up right now? I'm like, whoa. I'm like looking up for him.
Over a call,
And I over a call, I'm like, here's the link. Yeah, you can sign up right now. Thank God we have a spot for you. And we brought him, we signed up, and he was so grateful for it.
So grateful.
Thank you so much. And you have no idea. I had to ask a friend for a loan, and pulled some funds together, and now I'm in. Thank you so much for letting me in. And that just blew my mind away. What urgency on top of a good offer could do.
Yeah. That means you guys are offering something truly
Valuable. Yes.
valuable that people are grateful for.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
So the accelerator, I could scale to infinity, and I'm not stressed about it because I know that if they're not landing interviews and we get them a really solid CV in LinkedIn, which we can, obviously I've literally the exact strategies I used to go from 0 to 48K now as of probably today on LinkedIn. And I know 40K doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot on LinkedIn because the numbers are way smaller. It's really high quality leads. The highest quality leads are on LinkedIn. The exact strategies I used to scale a business which was $500,000 business, right, in terms of revenue. The exact strategies I use, I teach to my students. I'm like, I've scaled a business through this. Of course you can get a job. Of course you can get a job. That's what we teach. So I'm very confident, and I wouldn't have thought, and we wouldn't have come up with this program without school games.
Yeah, it pushes you, right?
It pushes you 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree. You're forced into creativity, and you're forced to you really, really want to win this thing, and then
Yes.
you're just when I woke up that final morning, I was behind, and then that's when all of my ideas just sparked.
Creative,
when
yeah,
I made
okay.
200 sales that final day, it just happened in 12 hours because I just panicked. I was just, I have to
have to
make a
win it.
no-brainer offer so people buy it today type
Love
of thing.
it.
Yeah.
Insane, man.
Yeah.
Well done.
So to round up then, what happens now? What's the next move? How do you take this to the next level? And
Of course.
and
What are your goals from here? As well,
Yeah,
too?
for sure. I'd love to take that. So as soon as the school games ended, we had 1 or 2 days of deep school games depression, but then it was back to work second day. We were still working, but it was just just doing work, weren't happy. So now I watched, as soon as we won the school games, I watched the one day. So your one day in February, and I watched that, and and Ted was in that as well. And I saw how Hermosi was answering questions, and what Hermosi says was, he says, it's the who, not the how. And I was like, okay, I want to, and we discussed as a team, we're going to 10x this, we're going to get to 650K a month. And I realized it's the who. I need the right person who's done this before in my team. So second day, and this is advice I've learned after 4 years of failing in the business, and if you take this away, you're going to make money the same month, which is speed. Same day, we scripted, I did slides for hiring a CEO. So I did a VSL to attract the best applicants to work with me as a CEO. So I did the slides, did the script. I got my team to check the script. We finalized the script, recorded it, edited it. The next day, the VSL was out. I even sent it to Sam. I sent it to you. I sent it to so many people. Got so many applicants. And we still didn't get a CEO. We got one in. They were really busy. They weren't the right fit, but we got a solid head of service delivery who's built and scaled VAs. So now because we internally we can get to 100K a month, we can get to 150K a month as well. It's just beyond that. So we can get to 150K a month whilst we're still looking for a head of sales and service delivery sorted. We got a guy who's already, he's Charlie, right? So he's already sending stuff like, Farhoon, I can do this for VAs, I can do that. And just do that VSL, 6-minute VSL. And I think it wasn't this, it was second or third day, but by the third day max, the VSL was out. So yeah.
So just like to go back on when you mentioned about like doing 8K in a day, like what was the value after the scholarships and everything? And like how many calls did you have to do? And like how long did that take? Like was it like to get 8K in one day?
I don't remember how many calls. It's just I woke up very early in the morning and it just took my entire day. But the range after the scholarships, it came down to, it was still high ticket, so it came down to between £1,000 to £2,000 in that range.
Wow.
Yeah.
1,000 to 1,500, and you probably took what, 12, 13 calls. How many did you take? Because those were nurtured up already.
Yeah.
They were literally people that we cold called.
So most of them closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them closed, but these were people that we hyper. So what we did is we went in our database. We looked at people with less than 12 months on their visa, who also have a part-time job, so they have disposable income. So there's one is part-time job, one is visa, and then I think these are the two things. So less than 12 months on their visa, and then have they got a part-time job or full-time job in the UK. That's it. And those people we cold call up, and the people that bit into it and actually watched the VSL, those people we booked calls with. So we'd call them up and say, hey, watch the VSL. This is exactly the solution to your struggles. You're not landing interviews, this is your solution. If you're landing interviews, we'd be like, okay, cool. This probably, you can join it, but this is not going to solve your biggest pain point because you mostly get support on landing interviews, right? So yeah, it was literally like that day was, yeah, because it wasn't 8, it was also, it's kind of, but the max was 999, right? So it was, in a nutshell, it was, we sold it from full price was £4,700 to answer your question, and the scholarships were 60 to 80%. So we literally say £4,700 total value, but you're getting it for £1,200. 2 installments of £600 each, 763x2, or I think we also did 999x2, which is around 1.5K. We've done that a couple times recently, £1,400, and they love it. Like if we were to do the same offer, but we priced it at 1,500, they would have been like, no, I want like 50 or 60% off, and we would have sold it for 800. But our margins would have gone thin. Like our margins, in fact, in hindsight, now that Max has mentioned the offer, in hindsight, if we actually increased, I actually priced it at £6,000 and then gave 88% off, we still would have sold. But we priced it at £4,700.
Yeah. Talk about a no-brainer. And before I hand the mic back off to Max, like, just want to say, like, thank you guys for like jumping into the community. Thanks for booking that onboarding call. I know we never ended up taking it, but yeah, but like thank you for actually coming in and like trusting us and like having us provide value for you. That's like really awesome. And it was kind of because we kind of felt like we were like watching you guys take the journey like as it was going. It was really cool to experience. So
thank you very much.
Yeah, congrats to you guys.
You know,
it's like really
thank you
amazing.
very much. Sorry to go.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, I was just gonna say I got excited there. I was gonna say thank you very much for having us. And honestly, when I was thinking of I need to win the school games, I was like, okay, I know I need to be coached, but I also don't want to be spending money until I've made it. So when I joined Max Premium, I think it was just like the 9th. Was it the 9th? Do you guys remember the day? It was 9th of May, early May. Just when
it was like a Monday. I remember that.
It was a Monday. It was when we decided we want to go for the school games. So I was speaking to a few coaches. I had other people reaching out to me as well, but I wasn't really convinced by the offer, right? So I joined Max Premium, and then I also booked an onboarding call with Dylan, right? But I just joined up even before I took the call. Dylan was like, you're already in, like, you don't need an onboarding call. So,
and then I told you to join the Coffee with Max call.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. Yeah, he's like, yeah, you need to join the call. Yeah, and then I joined the call, and I was like, hey, I want to win the school games. And then I had a rough plan. I ran Max too. Everyone was like, no, you need to like retargeting. He gave me advice on. I literally followed just 80% of his advice, and I came number 3. I imagine if we retargeted, we would have probably come like clean number 2, 80K, 90K plus. We didn't even retarget. So I applied 80% of what Max told me, and we got to number 3.
That's something to think about moving forward, like what we were talking about last night. Like
exactly. We should do that.
It could be insane.
100%.
But at the end of the day, like you guys just have yourselves to thank. Like you just took like massive action. Every single time Farhoon jumped in a call, it was just like you just saw an energy ball just joining the call, and it was like massive action. It was insane. It was impressive. It was really really cool. Yeah. Nice.
Appreciate that.
So, where can people like find out more about you guys? Like if somebody's watching this and they're like, "Okay, I want to like, where do I like go to like?" listen
that.
to what you guys do? Is it LinkedIn or website or school?
Thank
Where
you
do
very
go?
much. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're thinking of, okay, I want to generate traffic through copy, through written word and not video, you should check me out on LinkedIn, Farhoon Asim. So FARHOON space ASIM. We can link it somewhere here as well, down. And you can look at the way I write my posts. Please, I'm being very transparent. What you want to do is you want to get my best post, so scroll through the past 6 months, and look at my best post, the one that got the most comments, because comments is king, right? Comments are way better than likes. The post that got the most comments, I want you to copy that.
Don't give it
Literally
away,
copy
Farhoon.
that.
I want to do it.
Like literally copy it. I'm telling you, I'm giving it away. Copy it, and then get it on a Google Doc and think of how can I repurpose this for my niche. And I guarantee you will get 10x more than what you would have gotten if you just thought you could create your own post. Because what we think doesn't work. It's what the market wants. So what I do is, even when I write posts today, I look at bigger creators than me, look at their posts, take inspiration and repurpose that. And that's why my posts always do well. I haven't had a post that's done less than 20K in like months. And like there's people that are way bigger than me with a 100K audience, and they sometimes have posts which have like 30 likes, because they're not thinking of, okay, we need to do what works. I only trust what works. That's it.
Awesome advice. And before we round it up, what is your guys your vision for now?
Sorry?
Your vision for the future.
Vision. I mean, vision is twofold, right? One is to help 1,000 international students get jobs in the UK. We've helped just at from international heroes to now, through the 2 companies, my team, we've 62 that have worked one-on-one with us. Hundreds who've actually followed free strategies and joined the academy. But we want 1,000 people that we have in our database who we know got a job through our strategies, 1,000 people. And we can get there in a year. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
And revenue-wise, if you're an entrepreneur watching, 650K per month by May 2025. Sounds like a big number, but looking at, like, you look at the engagement on my LinkedIn posts, if you're watching and you're a better entrepreneur than me, you should try and crush us. You probably will. I think I'm a very below average entrepreneur in the right niche, but I'm learning, and I'm learning fast. I'm look forward to seeing you, destroying me.
Yeah, do you see what he's doing? This is so cool.
I love it. Yeah.
Right? He's a fucking master at work. It's like, where can people go to find out more about you? And then he just like gives you like a value piece. It's like, just go to and copy what I do. So now people wanna go into
Exactly. He knows that Max knows the strategies.
A lot of people that watch this will definitely go and check you out now, because
100%.
And also, what's your free school community? Like, if your ideal members watching, like, where
For
can
sure.
they find you guys?
So free school community is international. So international hustlers 7809. I should change the URL, but 7809. Should probably change it, but that's what it is.
We'll link it, yeah.
So school.com/international-hustlers 7809. And what we're doing more of now is now closing people in the DMs, the people who are in the free community. We've closed past, I think, week, 2 people, accelerator, £1,400, which is close to 2K USD, through the DMs. And the DMs recordings, I can actually show you guys after this. I showed, if you look at the DMs, they're jokes on Skool. They're literally jokes. They're so warmed up. So if you're thinking of like a free, it's literally like, they're like, just take my money. They're like convinced. And if you're thinking of, should I have a paid community and a free one? Always start with the free community, because in life, with everything, give first. You need to give value first. Like Max, I've told Max this, but for the viewers watching, I joined Max Premium in May, and my first touch point was in January when I saw his free masterclass. And I tell you, I was working with Dylan. I had a Dylan in my team as well, so he helped me actually set up my free school community after I worked with Ted. So the more like ongoing stuff, really good. Shout out to Dylan, really, really good guy. And he was like, yo, dude, you need to see, like, this one guy did a 7-hour masterclass in the school community. And he told me about it, and I started like, damn, I should have followed this. I shouldn't have spent that money. And that's how I found out about Max. And I actually I probably watched the time I spent 2 to 3 hours on that, 2x, and just like watching through it. And that's when I was like, when I saw then an ad in April or so, I was like convinced, like, if I need help with like growing my school community, I'll go to Max. And then when school games came, I had a couple options on my mind. I was like, it was a no-brainer. There's also a 14-day money-back guarantee. Here's another piece of value. The 14-day money-back guarantee, like Mom was like, oh, you going for it? So Mom was like the star DM setter in my team. I was like, bro, there's a 14-day money-back guarantee. Like there's literally zero risk. And also the 14-day money-back guarantee we also implemented, and Max gave me that advice. And as soon as we implemented that, we started doing multiple a day. We started doing like 3-4 accelerator closes because of the money back guarantee. And don't get me wrong, people ask for refunds. It's gonna happen, but we still net profited. So and actually speaking to people in the other house that we're in Vegas, a lot of people got 30 to 50%. We got less than 20%. We got like 6, 7. We didn't get less. We got less than 20%. So our refunds.
Because you guys are creating massive value.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But we still felt bad about it. But the point is, you'll get refunds, but you still profit. And think of it. Like I've been in the community for 3 months now, and the money back guarantee was probably a huge money back guarantee, and the fact that Max provided value up front without like asking for anything is why like I'm still part of the community. And like I probably like scrolled through once, and I'm like, I genuinely feel like Max has provided so much value. Like $300 is a drop in the ocean. Like right now here in Vegas with people who are way better than me, just because I followed his advice and here I am. So give value first, and people will come to you with, hey, like how do I pay you? That's literally what it is. That's my advice.
Yeah, like Ahmed and Farhoon, like most definitely 2 guys to keep an eye on. So we're already keeping an eye on you guys. So
Thank you very much.
We're gonna
Appreciate
continue to do it. Thank you so much, guys, for taking your time and sit down.
Thank you for having us. Thank you very much, guys.
Awesome, good stuff.
Really
Thank
good
you,
one.
guys. Good stuff. Nice.
Awesome. Congrats,
Nice
guys.
of you.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good.
It's gonna be.
Really good stuff, guys.
We're meeting Hermosi tomorrow, guys. By the way, so it's happening. It's happening. Thank you very much for that. It's a really good episode.